Hello, welcome to TMD Motorhomes here in Withall. If you're watching this video, the chances are you've purchased a motorhome from us. If so, thank you very much. Or you're just trying to get some pointers. So this is a handover. Sit back, relax, enjoy. When you are due to collect your motorhome from TMD Motorhomes, either myself or Jason will go through a comprehensive list detailing all the things you need to know to be able to use your motorhome in a safe manner. When you arrive on your site, we need to connect the motorhome to the 240 volt supply. We do this by using a hookup cable. If you lift up the lid, we can see that we've got the female part here, male part there. And we just push it home. I will always connect to the motorhome first. This means that when I'm unraveling the lead, I'm not going to get a shock before connecting to the gate post, the electric gate post. It is very important that we unravel this lead completely. This helps prevent overheating of the cable and eliminating risk of fire. So next we're going to look at how we connect up the gas bottles. There's two main types of gas that we use here in the UK. We've got the propane here and we've also got the butane. The propane is the most preferred. It burns at a lower temperature, so hence being able to use throughout the winter periods without too much issues. And it's quite simple to connect. We put the bottle inside. We've got the pigtail. Just remember though, this is a left-hand thread, so we're going sort of like tightening to loosen it and loosening it to tighten it. We just give it a nice firm twist. It's always a good idea, you can get some anti-leak spray just to spray around there. And if you have got a gas leak from here, it will bubble nicely and we just need to give it another tighten. We now can open up the bottle top and gas will flow out of the bottle, down the pigtail or the hose and to our regulator. So there's a couple of types of hoses. This one's a standard straight through hose, but we also have a hose with a crash protection valve on there. It's a little green button, sometimes black. And when we've opened the bottle top, we need to push this button in to release the gas through the hose. Although it's very, very good practice to turn the gas bottle off during driving, with that there, it's not a requirement to do so. The gas comes out the bottle through the hose to a bulkhead regulator, and again some will have a little green button that you have to push in as a crash device. Some have a little yellow button, but on this one it's just straight through. Nice and tight, no gas leaks. I'm happy to go on. Your new motorhome will come with at least two batteries, the engine battery and the habitation battery. The engine battery, in the case of Peugeots and Fiats, are located underneath the floor in between the driver and passenger seat, where in the case of this Elddis 115 we're demonstrating today, the leisure battery is in its own battery box at the front of the motorhome. Okay, so we're almost at the end of our outside jobs, but now we need to get some fresh water into our motorhome. Water to use for the sink, your toilet flush and your shower. Just at the back of the Elddis 115, we've got a little cover here. It unlocks with a little key. And we can put a little hose in there to fill up the tank. Don't worry, your tank won't overfill inside your motorhome. If anything, it's going to come out of here or on the overflow of the tank. Once the water is empty and we've filled up our waste tank or our grey water tank, we need to empty it. Sites will have a dedicated area, normally by a drain. We go to the grey tap here and we twist it open. This will release all the dirty water from our shower and our sink, but not the toilet. That's coming next. So here we are at the dreaded point, the toilet. So we have our toilet cassette here. Push the two buttons in, and inside the toilet cassette, if I just gently lift up the orange handle to remove the toilet cassette, it's got wheels, so I can drag it to where I've got to drag it. To empty it, I twist this round, remove the cap and pour it away. The cap's clever, it's got a measuring cap on there and we put some blue additive in there, or if you're on an eco site, it's green additive. Available from our shop here at TMD Motorhomes. Get that in for your journey. Put it in there, just open up the cassette there and just put a little bit of water in there to start the activation of the fluid, the chemical. Close it up all nicely, locate the wheels, down the track, and make sure that's firmly down. That is how we empty the toilet. And the final part of the water and the toilet section is how to drain down your fresh water tank when you're leaving your vehicle for a long period of time. Very similar to the wastewater, except this one's got the blue tap. Give it nice firm, twist the tap round, fresh water, they've got it left in your tank, will drain down. It's not a bad idea to leave that open when you're not using the vehicle, especially if there's no water in there. On the Peugeot and Fiat base, the bonnet release is on the side of the dashboard. So you have to open the passenger door, release the handle, in the centre, open up the bonnet, make sure that's firmly in place. It hurts when it falls on your head. As we had previously stated, the engine battery is under the floor. But don't worry, if you need to jump start your vehicle, we've got an earth stud here. So we put the black cable on there. And just inside, we've got a little plate there, which we can put our red cable to. Put it to the donor vehicle, and hopefully everything's good and dusted again. The dipstick is just here at the front of the Peugeot Fiat engines. We also have brake fluid, antifreeze. Why isn't that Uncle Freeze? Because only your antifreeze is. Power steering and our washer bottle. To get to these though, we do have to remove this cover trim. Make sure it's nice and firmly in place before we shut the bonnet down, because that can easily get damaged. One last thing, if you have a heavy downpour, the scuttle tray here can fill with water, so it's good to see that these drain points here are nice and clear and there's no bits of debris inside, like on this one. This will allow the rain to come off the scuttle tray, away from your engine, and fall nicely onto the road. So on the motorhome I'm demonstrating here today, the Elddis 115, is fortunate enough to have the Remis cab blinds. So we need our finger and thumbs, and if I squeeze that's open to release the blind, if I can keep this edge straight, because that edge is going to fit in there, slide it down, and it's held in place by a magnet. When we're putting it back, if we give it a gentle shake, make sure that's nicely, firmly in place before we drive off. The windscreen, again, same scenario, finger and thumb, squeeze, pull it together, they meet in the middle. This gives us our privacy during the night time. Also helps to keep the sun out of the van, keeping it nice and cool where we're inside. The Peugeot and Fiat van base has height adjustable cab seats, drivers and passenger seats. To adjust the height, we've got two little levers here. If I pull the front one up, I can push my weight backwards and forwards to raise the front end, and the rear one I can get myself a nice comfortable position to be in. I've got some support for my back here, and the armrests come down as well. In between my legs is the bar to bring the seat backwards and forwards. The passenger seat on the Citroën, Peugeot and Fiat bases, just underneath here, underneath the grille. This is where we're going to find our toolkit, our towing eye, our jack, etc. if we should need them. This Elddis 115 that we're currently in, both the drivers and passenger seats can rotate into the living area. And to do this, there's a little lever down here. I push it backwards, push the seat round, and as soon as it's moving, I can let go of the lever. Bring the seat round to where I want it to be, and the same with the driver's side. The driver's side though can catch the steering wheel and also the handbrake, so sometimes we have to move the seat backwards and forwards to get it into the correct position. Just a word of warning though, we do have to be facing forwards when the vehicle's in motion. So finally, we're actually inside your new motorhome. As soon as we get in, what we need to do is turn the 12-volt control panel on. This little fella here. On the top left on the Elddis, we've got an on-off button. Turn it on and that will power up all my lights, my water pump, etc. I've got another 4 square buttons here. The top right is my water pump. So once I've got the water in my tank and I need to get it out through the taps, I have to make sure the water pump's turned on. I've got a little light button there. I turn it on and off. As you can see, the lights are going on and off. 2 final buttons here. Picture of the battery. If I push that, I'll get a scale up here. That's great because I know my battery is in good health. And the final one there will let me know how much water I've got in there. So by pressing that, again a scale will come up. Unfortunately, I didn't put any in. Scale goes up and that will go down as in when you're using the fresh water. Big button, just a master light switch. So this is my 12-volt panel. I need this to be on for all my 12-volt functions to be working correctly. The motorhomes that we have here at TMD Motorhomes, all the opening windows come with fly screens and also the blackout blinds. To open the windows, we twist the catches 90 degrees, open up the window to the desired aperture and lock it in place. This motorhome has been equipped with a 12-volt omni-vent fan. We need our 12-volt panel turned on. Twist it round to open the vent up and press the on-off button. This Elddis 115 has got two different types of roof lights. Both are common, so probably going to see these in your motorhome if you haven't decided to purchase this one from me. Why ever not? So, black the catch again, got a little button there, push the button in and twist it to clear its holder, down that side. Release the bar and give it a nice firm push up. This bar goes over here and the black catches there, just keep it in place to stop it, the wind catching it and lifting the roof light up. So just a quite easy push up one. We've got a fly screen this side and a blackout blind that side. The alternative is the wind up motion here. So again, similar scenario, except instead of having the catches, I've got a winder and I wind it up. Opening the window and again, lift it tight, blackout blind, go to the bottom again, lift it up, and I've got the fly screens. These windows should be shut when we're driving, so just make sure that we've got them all down and before we leave. Some people like to make their own list of things to do before they travel off. Most definitely keep these shut. For our safety, motorhomes are fitted with an RCD. RCD stands for Residual Current Device, and it protects us from getting a shock when we're using the 230. And this is this little device here. As you can see, it looks like our fuse board that we have at home, and it'll be quite bright. If too much power comes through the motorhome, or if we have a fault on the electrical side, this little blue lever will trip down, and unfortunately we have lost the use of the 230 side of the motorhome. To reset it, we just lift it up. If it keeps tripping, there's obviously a fault. Bring it back to us. We need our workshop to have a look at it for our safety. The RCD protects us from shocks. All the other fuses that we have down here protects the wiring, so they're not so important. However, please make sure if you are replacing a fuse, you replace it with the correct ampage. For this example, the van battery here is a 20 amp fuse. If that keeps blowing, the temptation is to replace it with a 25 amp fuse. This is not safe. This means that the wiring could potentially be overheating and cause a fire. So if it does keep blowing, bring it back to our workshop again and we'll find the fault and we'll put it right so we can carry on using the motorhome safely. So just to recap, we have our RCD here, our MCB, micro circuit breakers, protecting the wiring of the 230 system. And down the bottom here, we've got our 12-volt fuses, protecting the wiring for our lights in the motorhome, our water pumps, etc. This is where the battery charger is fitted behind there. This is all one unit. It's a great idea to know where this is because just might save your life. As we learnt earlier by the connection of the gas bottles, our motorhome also has gas appliances. For our safety, we have a gas isolation valve, and these are positioned, in this case, just underneath the oven. They're grey, and what that happens here is, if we have a gas leak from an appliance, we can isolate that appliance whilst continuing to use the other appliances on gas. Bit of a mouthful, but I got there. In this instance, they're grey, and I've got a little picture on it. So on this one at the bottom, it's a little snowflake, so I know that's for my fridge. And the one above it is a picture of an oven, so I know this is protecting my oven here. So if I've got a gas leak from my fridge when I'm using it, I twist it 90 degrees. That isolates my fridge from the gas, but it means that I can carry on using my oven off the gas and my other appliances off the gas. Bring it back to us, we'll find the leak, and we'll be happy to turn it back on. There's 4 in total in this motorhome. I've got the 2 there, and I've got 2 underneath the bench seating for my water heater. These are very, very important for us to know the location of it. It's for our protection, so if we do have a gas leak, we know that you're safe, the appliances can carry on being used. So now we know where the gas isolation valves are, so we know that if we do have any mishaps, we're going to be safe. Let's have a look at the gas appliances in your motorhome. The first one, and the main one I suppose, is the oven, and in this case grill and hob burners. If I lift the lid up, I need to lift this up fully. If I leave it halfway there, gas won't come through, so it's a gas safety valve there. So lift the lid up fully, select the hob burner I want to use, push it in, twist, press the igniter, keep it held in for a few seconds, slowly release it. I should have a nice clean blue flame there. If it's yellow, we've got a carbon monoxide problem there. Again, we need to have a look at that and get it nice and clean for you. Blue flame's a good flame. In this instance, I've got 3 gas burners and I've got 1 electric hob burner there, which I need to be hooked on to be able to use. Same scenario with the oven and the grill there. Push it in, twist it, hold it in, ignite it, make sure we've got that nice blue flame and it stays lit. Before we put this lid down though, just make sure everything's turned off, it's nice and cool, we don't want that breaking. This is what is known as a 3-way fridge. It sounds lovely, it just means that it works 3 different ways. On this dial here on the left, it's a rotary dial, and I've got in the 12 o'clock position, it's turned off. My fridge is doing nothing at all. If I rotate it to around about 2 o'clock, I can see it's a picture of the plug. My fridge is now, so long as I'm hooked up to mains electric, working quite happily on the 230 power. Around about 4 o'clock, I've got a battery selector. This is where most people get caught out. This is not your leisure battery, this is actually your engine battery, and this is for use when your vehicle is in motion. It's the least effective way of using your fridge, and you'll find that it'll only keep the temperature of the fridge where you started off. So it's always a good idea to cool the fridge down first before driving. And then finally, roughly 6 o'clock, we've got our gas selector. Turn it to gas, come over to my other dial here, push it in, hit the igniter, and my gas, once lit, is operating my fridge. I will know if I've got success with my gas being light because the orange needle here will go out of the white and into the green. Fingers push down, open the fridge door, and we've got nice fresh food ready for the barbie. Thetford toilet is quite simple to use. We can adjust the position of the bowl by twisting it around. Lift up the lid, and down here the grey lever, we slide it to open up the blade inside. We do what we need to do, push the blue button, which will spray a jet of water around here, let it settle, and close the blade up again. We do everything on an open blade and we drive on a closed blade. We don't want nothing coming back up now, do we? Your new motorhome has got heating and hot water. In this instance, we're using the Whale heating system, but there are other systems available as well, such as the Truma and the Elddis systems. To turn on our hot water, we find our dials here, and we select the option, either the gas or the mains hookup. It goes without saying we need gas in the bottle and the bottle turned on, and if we're using the mains we need to hook up cable on, and we might have to make sure that everything's working correctly there. We press the plus and the minus to increase the temperature of the water, and we let it go and do what it's doing. I do need water in the tank, and it takes roughly 20 minutes from cold to piping hot water through the taps. To the right of this one, I've got my heating control, and again selecting the element that I want to use, i.e. gas or electric. I can then adjust the temperature by pressing the button up or down. So long as I've got something down here, in this instance I've got the blue with the 3 lights, that's telling me here that I'm heating the van on a day like this using 3 kilowatts of electrical power. So the final thing to look at is how we drain down our hot water tank, and this is quite simple with the Whale system. We have a yellow lever here which we twist, we empty the water, but just remember to reset it again before you use it. We do this to prevent freezing. Also, we previously touched on gas isolation valves, and this is the one here for our heater in the Elddis. By all the gas appliances, we'll have a drop hole, and this is so the gas can escape if we do have, are unfortunate to have a gas leak during our time in the motorhome. This is covered quite nicely with a cover there. So I hope this information has been informative for you. I hope you enjoy your new motorhome that you purchased from us here at TMD Motorhomes.